Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 135. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we rally together and welcome Bungie's new community manager, talk about updates to the development roadmap, and get way off topic on what else we've been up to this week. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and of course, CyborgSasquatch. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Maine.
Good day.
How's it going?
Good evening.
Good morning?
Good.
Nope, not yet. We got a little bit till morning.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
All the things.
Yes.
How are you?
Good, man. Another reset under the belt.
Another reset.
Hanging out, enjoying life one day at a time. What's new with you?
Not a ton.
Welcome back reset to the show.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, man, that episode last week. Mega, quite the co-host, the guest host.
He's very a fun guy.
Yeah, very
a lot
lively.
Of energy there.
Sorry I missed him.
Yeah, we would have had fun, but
next time.
We did miss you, but it's good to have you back.
Great episode. Thank you. Missed you, man.
Sure. Thanks.
Text just isn't enough.
It's just not the same.
It's nice to hear your voice at least once a week.
At least once.
Anyways, things are good, man. Things are good.
Good. Well, no announcements this week. All quiet.
Yeah.
On that front. But lots of news. So let's talk about some news.
Let's do it. It's an exciting day. Everyone listening, hopefully soon the game will be back up and running.
Yep,
if you're listening
an update
to this
today.
Yes, very much so.
We'll talk about here in a moment.
Ooh, the tease.
This week at Bungie, the factions rallied again. By now you'll know who won. New Monarchy, obviously.
It appears as though they're on a streak.
I need to check. I think they can track it now in Destiny Tracker or somewhere.
Yeah, because I see my fave YouTube content creators are throwing up like the updates of who's winning.
Like who's turned in, because they can track how many packages across accounts. Mm-hmm. So I guess they just...
See, that's what I want in the tower. I want like on a monitor somewhere, like a scoreboard.
That would be dope. Like up by Shaxx.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like talking trash and everybody like, who will win, Guardian?
Look, you're losing.
Those Monarchs are at it again.
Is it really only tracked by how many packages you open? That's true, it. Correct? Yeah.
How many packages
like there should
are
be
earned.
Something else. I do feel like, I know it's on the roadmap, but I do feel like faction rallies can be fleshed out to have some pretty neat stuff in them, hopefully down the road.
It'd be cool if maybe like once a year there was a faction war that went on for like a month.
It'd be cool.
And they there's like more to it, like maybe some kind of tallies on Crucible wins and just like different stuff.
I feel like well, on the roadmap, it says faction rally improvements in May with a new season. I feel like, especially with seasons, it doesn't have to be like crazy substantial stuff. I feel like even subtle things that they could add to faction rallies, hopefully that wouldn't involve too much development time, could add a nice, neat little touch to it,
Yeah.
But, it's still fun, though. It's a blast. We had some new weapons this go round. I got the Dead Orbit auto rifle. So
I think it'd be a cool touch if whenever whatever faction won, the next week there would be like a cool cutscene and maybe like a mission to run.
That'd be cool.
Or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Make it real. Make it real in the world.
Yeah. this isn't really reasonable, but it'd be cool too if like when you competed in the Crucible, you actually like got teamed up with others of your faction, so you were actually fighting the other factions. That would be cool.
That'd be cool if there was enough player population to do stuff like that.
To do that. They just really that particular thing, like I said, probably isn't too feasible. But there are definitely things they could do to add nice little touches to the faction rallies. Anyways,
or even I said mission. They could do like faction adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting it out there, Bungie.
I did rep this week, though. I was like, you know what? I've been working on my gear stuff. I've mentioned that in the last couple episodes, having different gear sets. And I'm like, I'm going to rock my full DO set this week. And I did it.
Well, and you need to for your ornaments, too.
Yes. Yeah, I have a story about that later in Reset. I'll save it.
Word.
Ornament grind.
Okay, but this week at Bungie, there was an update to the Destiny 2 development roadmap.
Update to the
specifically,
updates.
Exotic repetition reduction and Nightfall Strike unique rewards have been moved out to update 1.1.4.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, exotic weapon and armor sandbox changes have been delayed to 1.2.0 Season 3 to grant proper time to test and implement these changes. Those are some big ones.
I kind of freaked out for a second because at first I thought it was the overall sandbox changes, but it was just the armor, exotic weapon and armor sandbox changes, not the weapon and abilities. If they moved that one,
still got that one on track for March.
March, yes.
And I think that makes sense, especially because they'll be making some overall changes to stuff, and then that may impact the tuning for exotic weapons and armor.
Right.
So it makes a little bit of sense to do it, separately.
Yeah.
To allow them to see some data.
These things, of course, we wanted to see Nightfall Strike unique rewards. That would have been nice to see this reset. But overall, I think everyone's I'm excited for some of the stuff that's coming today as you're listening to this. Some simple things like your fire team members on your map. And the scoring is going to be cool. But I think everybody's you can see we're pivoting and we're leaning on that March update. That's going to be the start of some hefty stuff. So,
yeah,
it stinks stuff. A couple things got pushed back, but some pretty meaty stuff is in March. Now, I've heard a lot of rumblings. I'm going to say that word again here in a second in the community, because Mayhem and Rumble, did they get moved up or have they always been in March? Because everybody seems to really be focusing on Rumble coming in March. Or have they always been on March? The March update? I feel like they pushed them up. Am I wrong?
I'll have to go back and look.
Well, either way, that's exciting. Again,
that's
the March update is
only a month away.
Yeah.
We get a weekly Crucible playlist with Mayhem and Rumble. That's exciting.
Yeah, and of course, the big one is the sandbox changes after they gave us that little abbreviated version of what they're looking at in the TWAB. What was it, last week or the week before? It's like, okay, they're making some big moves in the sandbox and big changes. So it's going to be an exciting time to log in.
Good stuff in there. Hang in there, Guardians.
Yes. But I guess if we want, do you want to throw out an abbreviated version of what we're getting today so everybody knows, man?
Yeah, real quick on the development roadmap, one other thing they brought up in this little post that they put about it was they really wanted to get Nightfall Strike unique weapons to coincide with the Nightfall scoring, but they didn't feel it was quite ready and up to high quality, so they're giving them more time. They also mentioned mod system improvements will not be available when 1.2.0 is released for Season 3. I think that's a big...
It is.
It's a big thing to note that we're not seeing that anytime soon.
Yeah, Mods 2.0 is looking like fall of 2018 at the earliest, I bet.
You think so? You don't think we'll see it over the summer?
I don't think so, man. I don't know. I feel like it'll be an overhaul that gets launched with that big fall expansion.
It feels like they're taking King all over again.
Yep. I don't know. It's just the first place I went. So I really feel like
that's one that a lot of people have brought up as like a major requested feature to improve mods.
Yep.
Well,
and again too, it's a make or break. I guess it's not make or break, but it's a make. If done correctly, which they seem to be really putting some attention to it. Yeah.
Do it well.
Yep.
Also, they mentioned they're planning to have doubles return, but they don't have a release date for that. That's exciting. I love doubles.
Yep. I didn't get to play a ton that week, but what I did and the feedback I saw in the community, everybody seemed to really enjoy the doubles.
Yeah, and then they promise next week in the TWAB, they're going to go more in depth with future Crucible plans. So things to look forward to there. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned with 1.1.3, we don't have the whole notes yet, but we know that we're getting Nightfall scoring, high score tracking, destination emblem variants, Crucible emblem, Nightfall emblem variants, fire team members on destination map, PC public text chat, companion mod / shader interactions.
Interesting.
Whatever that means. And Prestige Nightfall Challenge Cards version 1.
That's the after you complete the Nightfall, we talked about 2 episodes ago, where you get that little rare card to add modifiers. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And when they say cards, it just throws me off a little bit, but I wanted to make sure.
So they also detail some changes that they're making to emblems that look really cool, especially emblems that display things like stats. For instance, the Crucible emblem that advertises wins or KD, which they mention you can now get from Shaxx after 10 Crucible rep packages if you don't have it. That's pretty cool because I've never gotten that to drop.
I do have it, but yes, it makes sense to allow it to everyone who...
Yep. A new emblem that advertises your Crucible kills broken down by class, so you can continue your class warfare. Great job, Bungie. And then they're removing auras not removing, but they use the word collapsing them into emblems. They're removing them as standalone items.
Right.
So basically the existing raid trials and new Nightfall emblems will provide the aura to players when they are earned each week. They're activated by getting a flawless, a prestige clear, or going above the par Nightfall score.
My thought on this, I read through the TWAB again today, and it appears as though you'll have to have the emblem equipped.
That's my assumption. And the only downside to that is if you want to show off your aura, then you got to wear the emblem all week.
And it's weird because, too, it appears as though you're going to... I do like that they're... you read this and you're like, man, they're putting a lot of time into emblems when, people want to hear about other things right now. But ultimately, I think this depth in the emblems is a cool system. We'll get into some other stuff here in a minute. But specifically on this one, it's kind of like if we get an emblem every Nightfall, depending on what strike it is, and then we have to equip it the rest of the week to have the aura active.
I think there's going to be one Nightfall emblem.
Are you sure? Because they had one specifically called the Inverted Spire that I saw in one of the TWABs a week or 2 ago.
Maybe not.
I hope that you're right, and there's just one cool Nightfall emblem, and that's what you wear to sport your Nightfall score and your aura if you beat it. Because if they have one for every strike, that's cool, but the part that isn't cool is that if you want your aura, you've got to throw on your Nightfall emblem. That's where it kind of makes more sense to be its own thing.
A bunch of new emblems, and you can't keep them anywhere.
There's no room. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think we can pull emblems out of the collection, though, right?
Yes, you can. Yeah, no, I've always got just one slot available because I have my favorites.
Guess that's okay.
But it's cool. I like the depth. I like the stats. I like showing me what Guardians I've defeated and this or that. But I definitely thought twice about that aura one. Interesting. Anyways, moving
It
on.
makes things more complicated. So they're also introducing variants to some emblems, which I think this is pretty cool.
This is neat. This is really neat.
So you'll have an emblem. They show one off, for instance, that the new Crucible Kills emblem unlocks class foe variations after you down 1,000 guardians of that class. They mention others are drops from sources like destination chests or nightfalls, and some of these might be quite rare. So they show off an example of the Crucible Kills emblem, and it's got one for each class, and then it has one that has like the class emblem kind of shattered, and it's unlocked for defeating 1,000 of each class. So it's a cool concept. I could definitely see where they could take it in some cool directions, especially, something we've talked about in the past long time ago was how it would be great to have cosmetic stuff that was rare and cosmetic stuff that you earned by doing really specific, challenging stuff. So that when you had a certain thing, you were showing off a accomplishment, you know? And specifically, for the Crucible as well, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do and earn for PvE activities, but Crucible usually has less, with the exception of Trials, but that's not all, PvP is. Same thing for raids. It's not all PvE is. So I think this is a cool way they can add some fun, almost Call of Duty prestige-ish.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Stuff.
The thing is they've got to make it like, this is a really cool example, especially of a starting point. But I was listening to a podcast today and they were joking about like a emblem that counts, you unlock a version of it and it counts your sticky kills or something. Obviously it'd be a little harder to get sticky kills in Destiny 2, but then I immediately thought, okay, what would be the equivalent? Hunter knife kills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you see a guy with an emblem like that and he's got 100 knife kills, like throwing knives, you're like, okay, all right, that's okay. I respect that. Sure. Definitely stuff like that.
Yeah. So, this will be a great system that they can use as well with the ranked. I don't know if we call it ranked. What is the PvP system we have coming? Is it a ranked? What we call it?
Yeah,
ranked?
it's a ranking system. Yep.
Whatever
Valor
you
and
call it.
It's
Valor and Prestige, or I don't know.
Glory? Is it
Glory? There you go.
Is it Glory? Yeah,
Valor and Glory. Yeah. So these will be cool ways that they can add some depth to those systems, I think, by giving some unlockable stuff. So this is cool. I like it. It's a lot of words about a little thing, but
yeah. No, I think, of course, a lot of people, if they're keeping up with the TWAB, they're probably thinking, all right, there's a lot of stuff on this roadmap that is going to make the game, going to add quality of life things to the game, bring people back to the game. The emblems probably aren't going to do it by themselves. But when you take those things,
the sum of the whole.
Yes, when you take those things and you add cool little depth like this that they're adding to the emblems, that's as a whole, like you said.
I'm looking at this other example. I think you're right because they show off an emblem for the Pyramidion. It says this emblem tracks your high score for the Nightfall of the Pyramidion, and then it has the option to display the aura if you're above the bonus threshold. So I think you're right. I think we're gonna have one for each Nightfall.
Isn't that kind of weird? It's kind of weird. It kind of like, to me, it makes more sense to have it as a standalone thing. But it's like,
because the score is different for each strike, and because that will change, I see why you'll need one for each strike different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yep. That's why I wonder if the aura should stay as it's a standalone thing and they should do something else with the emblem.
But I think what this does is probably, keep in mind, not a designer, not an engineer or coder, but it probably makes it simpler to have this one item that there's a if then in there. If the score is above X, then it activates the aura.
Yeah.
And so for it for that emblem to control that whole happening, that's probably why it makes more sense, from a back end. But I totally agree. Like, just as a player, it would just make more sense just to have the auras. I mean, that's why they added them, right? The problem is that it's almost like an unused empty slot. Like,
right, I know. Is it going away, I guess, or something
I think
else?
it's going away.
Yeah, going away totally, yeah.
Which, hey, if that makes my loading screen load like a fraction of a second faster, totally cool with that.
And same here. I'm no developer or coder, but I wonder too, and this obviously would be more difficult than just having one for each strike. But you think you could have one Nightfall emblem and then variants inside of that you unlock for each Nightfall strike that would then activate the bonus threshold, so you could have the same emblem with many different options. But again, like you said, I'm sure it's way easier to apply to do like a per emblem type thing and not try to embed it all into one emblem.
Yeah, especially because as the game grows and they add strikes.
Yeah.
Probably easier to add new emblems for the strikes than to say, okay, we gotta add 5 more variants on this emblem.
Yeah. Think about that though, dude. When it comes up, it would make more sense to all be housed under one emblem, because let's say many weeks from now,
Pyramidion comes back. All right,
let's go to the vault or go to the tower. Yeah. But anyways,
it's a pain in the butt.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I like the scoring.
Yeah, until there really needs to be a system sometime in the future where all your cosmetics are just available from the screen.
Inside your menu.
And I think part of that is what they were trying to do with shaders.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to make that simpler than just, having like you can hold 9 shaders and you got to swap them out all the time.
Mm-hmm. I do like that we have to go visit the tower to get things, but there are certain things like maybe your collections.
I'm thinking about cosmetics. I think every cosmetic should be available like in your menu, or maybe let's just say when you're in your ship in orbit.
Right.
I don't know. But it needs to just be able to be whenever, like, it's just like any other game. Like, you go play anything else with cosmetics, like Call of Duty, or you're playing Fortnite, or you're playing XYZ. Like, when you're not in a game, you can just go and you can just grab whatever you want and customize it. Mm-hmm. And I think they really need to change that aspect of the game to be more accessible that way someday.
I agree. We have other reasons to go to the social spaces.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, I get why they're there. I also think they could be like completely... They could be completely irrelevant if they wanted them to be. But I get their value. Like, and they have a lot of value for the player in the game. Like, you get a lot of value. I can't come up with a better word for this, but you spend a lot of time in the tower,
right?
And you get a lot of memories in the tower, just farting around, dancing with people, running around. It's a familiar place, right? Mm-hmm. It is a social game. I don't know.
It is.
We're going way off on a tangent that's not well thought out, but
that's okay. It's a conversational podcast, man. They're used to it. True. They're used to our ramblings of nothingness. Yeah. They listen to us for 2 hours.
Tell us what you think.
What
would you think if there was no tower anymore? You just went to orbit.
This is when they could incorporate us being able to explore inside of our ship and go to all the things.
What if Destiny was just open world and you could do all this stuff wherever you wanted, but there were social spaces because you would just run to a social space to go meet up with players or meet the blacksmith or some bullshit.
This reminds me of way back when we didn't know a whole lot about Destiny 2 yet, and we were like, dude, the director could be gone. Like,
there was that whole rumor that
different.
that Destiny was going to be open world.
Yeah. It could all be gone.
Oh yeah, we were like, Throw the baby out with the bathwater. What's it going to be? Nah.
Nah.
Not that different. Not that different. Anyways, tell us what you think. Would you like life without a tower? Things
At
were
Destiny
simpler.
Reset.
Yeah. All right. Next up in
section,
the TWAB, Destiny player support.
Tell us all about it.
We had some downtime prepping for the update that happened Monday. And then Tuesday, when you're hearing this or later, Destiny Update 1.1.3 gets rolled out. They do maintenance as usual from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then they have a patch notes preview, general patch notes from the update. They're fixing an issue where the Phoenix Dive ability can be used to get out of the intended play space. Fixing an issue where players could receive a loss in Trials of the Nine if opponents leave multiple matches in a row. That sounds terrible. The Crucible helmet ornament will now gain unlocked progress from Trials in addition to competitive match wins, and projectiles from the Colony exotic properly track enemies on PC when frame rate is set higher than 30 FPS. Stay tuned for a full list of patch notes.
Love me some patch notes.
Talk about those next week. Then we had our moments, our movies of the week.
I would like moments. I've asked
Moments of
Cosmo
the
before for like a play of the week. Add that to the TWAB. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Anyways,
let's do that.
come on, Cosmo.
DMG wrote the TWAB this week because guess what? He got a promotion. We speculated heavily on the listing for community manager when that came up.
Mm-hmm.
And they put up a blog post earlier this week detailing that DMG is now moving to full-time as a acting community manager.
Congrats.
He got the job. Congratulations. Knew you could do it.
I feel like it was kind of one of those things like we have to post it, but we kind of already know he's going to get it type thing.
Yeah, I think that's,
Which
totally big works. Company, they're going to interview some people.
Promote internally.
But they mentioned kind of some talk about what community managers mean and what DMG is going to be doing.
He's more than shown that he's a great community leader, man. I feel like you got to be able to inform people, not bite on certain scenarios, diffuse situations, respectfully. It's I respect these guys.
For sure.
Very much so.
So he wrote a little note introducing himself again and talking about his journey since joining Bungie.net in 2004 and coming to Seattle in 2015. And he's extremely grateful for his new gig so that he can give back to the community. And says, my goal in joining the community team is to give a pulse to the status of development, investigations in process, or setting expectations for upcoming features. We have a roadmap to follow, and I'm excited to keep you informed along the way. So if you don't already, go follow that man on Twitter. That's A_DMG04 on Twitter. Pretty cool guy. Well-deserved promotion.
Yes.
He'll do a great job. So sorry if you applied for that job.
Keep on keeping on.
There's still a chance one day for you. And that's most of the news this week. Next week we'll have patch notes to talk about and more to speculate on as always. In the meantime, why don't we talk real quick about our sponsor this week?
Let's do it, man.
Let's talk about Blue. Arrow and I at DRP use Blue microphones and headphones for all of our audio, and that's just a couple of the products that Blue creates. Did you know they have headphones? Did you know that, Arrow Knight?
I did. I have some on right now. These wonderful Blue Lolas.
They have great mics, but we love their headphones a lot too. Blue's award-winning products are the driving force behind professional musicians, internet creators, and countless elite gaming teams and Twitch streamers. The Yeti USB mic is the internet's most popular microphone.
There you go.
And their MixFi and Lola headphones deliver totally insane sound and personalized fit. We can attest to that. Blue offers you everything you need to completely immerse yourself in the ultimate gameplay experience. You can learn more about Blue at bluemic.com. For our listeners only, you can save 20% on their products in their store by using the product code DestinyReset at the bluemic.com store. That's 20% off.
20%. That's legit.
Pretty good.
Yes. Yeah, and seriously, guys, keeping it real. Cyborg and I still like to talk about, promote, and use things that we do enjoy ourselves. And Blue is definitely no joke. And we have used their products for many episodes at this point. And they also take care of us in the regard of taking care of you guys. So we've got some Blue products we'll be giving away here soon. So
yes, sir. Well, how was your reset, AER0KNIGHT?
Dude, my reset. You can see in the notes here, I did quite a bit this reset. I didn't get to I didn't play too much the week of the faction rally. I got in just a little bit just to try doubles. But this last reset, dude, I actually hit up old school trials, Friday night trials. Got some Dirt fam together, and nice. It's been a bit. Yeah, we used to do that every Friday, and we kind of just we haven't been on our normal routine for a little while, but we had a good time. It was not super sweaty. We didn't go to the Lighthouse, but I figured out real quick that we were playing on PS4. The old Antiope still shreds.
Yes, it does.
Antiope, Positive Outlooker, Uriels is quite the combo right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was a good time. We had fun. Say what you will about the Crucible, it's different. With these updates coming in March, I feel like if they can find a balance between D1 and D2, we're going to be setting somewhere pretty magical, because I still do have a good time in the Crucible and Destiny 2. It's different, but it's still fun. But anyways, like I said, no Lighthouse. That's okay. Had a good time. Believe it or not, I actually did the Nightfall this week. I was on a tear, man. Kind of did like a Friday night game session. And the reason I did the Nightfall, talking about ornaments, I wanted my Dead Orbit Titan helmet ornament, because I'm just missing it, and I believe the chest piece ornament. And so I'm like, we chat about it for a minute before we start it, and I'm like, oh, you don't have to wear the stuff, right? Yeah, no, because it always pops up. We're talking to each other. It pops up, and I'm not wearing the actual armor. It just pops up because you've got it. So we do the whole Nightfall. Nothing pops up. I'm like, oh, maybe I just got to go turn it in, and then it'll pop up. And then I actually take the time to read the subtext for the ornament. And it says, you must wear your full Dead Orbit set and complete the Nightfall in order to get the ornament. Total noob cake, man. I'm like, seriously? Oh, so I didn't get it, but that's okay. That's all right.
Still do it?
I'll do it again. Yeah, we'll do it again. It didn't take too long. But that's okay. Give me something to grind later on. But anyways, dude, I did my strike. I did my milestones this week, man. Did my strikes. I'm still I'm calling it forever 334. I can't seem to get a chest piece or my mark up to 335, just shy on both. But Faction Rally got the DO auto rifle. I mentioned that. I did kind of want that gun to test it out. I haven't got a chance to test it yet. But picked up the Crimson too. I didn't have that yet. That thing hadn't dropped for me. Zur had that this week. Nice, which reminded me, we didn't ever get a chance to talk. You picked up Jade Rabbit, right? Because he did actually have it. I'm not accidentally trolling you.
I bought Jade Rabbit.
Very cool.
Not super impressed.
Okay. It's pretty though. See, that's
it's the thing. Real pretty. I even had a funky ornament for it. And I tried playing with it, and I think I would just prefer Mida.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. Even back in Destiny 1, when people know how to use it and they hit you with it, you're getting hit, with that gun. But otherwise, yeah, you might as well just get Mida out. Now, as far as the gun I'd like to have hanging on my wall in the game room, probably J Rabbit. Thing's gorgeous. The actual 3D printed copy, like the last words you have that I still haven't gotten. Anyways, so other than that, man, just been goofing around. I've really been nerding out on my gear sets. I've mentioned that already. I now have my PvE set ready to throw on, my Void build. I've got my Striker build that I just swap out. My Iron Banner, I infused that stuff up, so I got that full set. And my Dead Orbit set. I've kind of been just creating my own little mini games. And then outside of Destiny, I played this game a few times on a few different occasions, but I don't know what happened this week, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play Fortnite some more. And I bought the Battle Pass for $10, and I've played like 5 to 10 matches, if you will, whatever you want to call them. And I realized the way that game is set up is exactly how my gaming time, it works well for me with my gaming time right now. It's if you want to play 2 sessions for like 10 to 15 minutes and be done, or if you've got a couple hours to play, like you can squeeze it in pretty much anytime. And then it's intense and it's fun and it's got that loot aspect. So I think I'm going to be playing a little bit more Fortnite.
It's fun, man. And they did some really cool stuff with their most recent patch. Adding, a new weapon and some new changes to some of their systems, like building, and bumped from 30 to 60 FPS on all consoles.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, and I don't remember because it's been many months since I've played it, but people tell me, and I can tell it looks very pretty, that graphically they updated it as well. The grass is grassier. That's what I heard.
Grass is grassier.
But yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna be playing some Fortnite quite a bit.
Yeah, I like it. My only complaint is that the cosmetics are so expensive.
They are.
Good night. I'm talking about $20 for a clothing skin.
I know. I bought the battle pass, and then like at level 3, you get 150 V-bucks or whatever. So I go look at the store, and I'm like, let's see how not much that is. And I'm like, yep, it's not much.
It's literally $1.50, and that gets you nothing.
I guess they're not getting much feedback on that because the game is free. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's tough because that, and then also, if they're only big revenue sources, cosmetics, and also the game is super popular.
Yeah, very much.
So, they're making money hand over fist, I think, based on a free game. Who knows how much they have invested into the entire game as a whole? They probably still at a loss, but either way, yeah, I'm not buying as much stuff as I might be because it's so expensive.
Yeah. But man, is it fun though? It's just a different, like you said earlier before we started recording, we were chatting about it, and other than the loading screen, getting into the game, once you get in, you can get into an actual game so quick. And when we had the Derp Fam get together back, I think it was November, we ended up playing Fortnite. We played Destiny and Trials, the raid Trials for a while, and then like the latter half, when people started going to sleep, we threw on Fortnite and we played it for like 5 hours. It's just so addicting. You can play 1 match, 2 matches, and before you know it, it's 5 hours later, and you're just it's got that aspect. So it's fun. I'm probably gonna put a little more time into it alongside some Destinies. So yeah. Anyways, man, what have you been playing?
Man, so I've kind of got a mixed bag this week. I'm finding I have lately, probably just in the past like month, like I've had less time to commit to like sit down gaming. So like what I am doing entertainment wise is doing more accessible stuff. For instance, like I might have my Switch and play some Stardew Valley on the couch while I hang out with my wife, because I got to give, we might be watching a show and I might be kind of casually playing that while we talk and stuff. Or
it's so nice we're like in this, it's always been so nice we're in this, like the same place in life with family and kids. Cause dude, everything you're saying, I'm like, yep. That's why my PlayStation is like upstairs in a different room closer to the family, not downstairs in the corner, and Fortnite is accessible because it's short, quick gameplay sessions. The Switch is next to the bed.
Right. And, or like stuff, so I have my whole setup is, I have my PC and a laptop and my Xbox and PlayStation all in kind of a room that we use like an office, a spare bedroom. And, so it's hard because the stuff's always in front of me. It's tempting, but I kind of, so I'm self-employed. I work, sometimes I'm out on the road a lot, and then sometimes I'll work at an office that I have, but I try to work from home whenever I can so that I'm more accessible, like to my family, and don't have to drive as much. So, I might be working, say in the afternoon or even like late at night, like catching up on stuff. And I can't like play Destiny and do that stuff. Like I can't multitask that. So I might have like, for instance, I was just telling you, I started playing Civilization 6.
Yeah.
Like that's an easy game where I can like do
Stop
something, finish a task, and then, okay, let me do a couple more turns. And
dude,
then
so
go
many
back,
games you can't do that now. Like
it's
even
tough,
Monster Hunter, dude. Like if you're fighting a monster, it's just you can't pause it, And
right.
It's like I totally feel you. That's why my solo play.
Yeah, and both with like family life and work life, because I don't have a 9 to 5. Like there will be like periods and seasons where I get super busy for a while. Maybe I'm like developing something in my business and putting in extra time, or maybe it's a really busy time for that year. And so I might have like 2 months sometimes where I don't get to game a lot, or I have to choose not to game a lot to keep the other things balanced. And so I've found like even over every year, I'll find that there's periods where if there's not new like big Destiny stuff, like I have to sometimes kind of put it on the back burner to make sure life happens. Whereas like in the past, probably in the first 2 years of Destiny, like I would sometimes make poor decisions about my time and play more Destiny than I should have. And so long story short, I play a lot of different stuff now that totally depends on what my time is like. And unfortunately, right now, there's not a lot of time for me to play Destiny. So I play as much as I can. And so this week, I tried to work on some of the faction rally-ish type stuff, and I did some heroic strikes. And
that's my solo play, man.
Yeah, it's mostly solo play. And a lot of my friends, when they're playing on at night, they're all addicted to Fortnite right now. So I got like one night in a Fortnite this week because they were like, come on, you got to come play with us and see this stuff. So I played that for a couple hours, and that was a good time. Enjoyed some of the new stuff that Fortnite's doing, and kind of hanging out, waiting for some fun new stuff in Destiny to pop off, which should be, this week. I'm excited for Reset to go do the new Nightfall stuff. And I'm glad that we talked for a second about microtransactions, because it reminded me I got to go pop by the tower, because she was selling the Kabir's ship.
Oh, she's selling that. I was thinking maybe it was last week she was selling the Drop the Mic, right?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe it was last
week.
But
either last night or the night before I was on, I was like, oh, I need to grab that. And for some reason I didn't. I hope she's still selling it right now, but I'm literally logging in and going to fly into the tower because I don't want to forget before reset.
You got enough bright dust? You're going to have to drop.
I do.
So,
no, I have.
That's what I've
been saving it
ship.
for the selfie emote.
Mm-hmm.
And that hasn't been sold yet. I've been checking every week. They're being really stingy about that emote.
I spent all my bright dust that I got through gameplay on my Ikora ship, and I'm just now getting back up to I think I'm just above 300.
Ikora ship's pretty dope. I wish I got that one.
But yeah, I actually kind of want that other one too, but I'm not going to have enough.
It's the same type of looking ship, I think, isn't it?
I think it's different. No, I think it's different.
Is Ikora's different? I might have to.
Yeah, Ikora's kind of looks like the old OG Destiny 1 ship.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I might be thinking about. Isn't there a Saint 14 ship? And it looks like the.
I think you're right. Yes.
Kabir's.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull up the. I'm gonna go look inside the loot boxes and compare them real quick. Let's see, Tess.
Pick it up, man.
Have what I'm looking for.
Come on, Tess. Doing it live on the podcast.
Kabir's Glass Aegis. And 2000 Bright Dust acquired.
He's purchasing it right now, folks.
I'm about to pull up. So ships, let's preview. Really, all of these exotic ships are really cool.
They are cool. Yeah.
Ikora's Resolve, you're right, is like the original.
That's another reason.
It's almost a reskin of the original. Is it the Arcadia jump ship? I want to see it was called, but it's got a cool, like, chromatic metal look on it and some freaking missiles.
Yeah. It's cool. That's another reason why I liked it, because we always rocked the OG ship a lot in Destiny 1.
Well, I got a model, a freaking Mega Bloks model of it sitting right up here in front of me. I
haven't gotten that one yet.
It's a good one.
No, I take that back. I do have that one. I don't have.
There's another
I haven't put it
one
together. Yeah, I don't have the.
They have another jump ship.
Spider tank.
It's funny. I have. I was just looking at this the other day. So all the Mega Bloks that came out, new last year, I have every set, and I haven't put any of them together.
I know I'm behind you, man.
I think I need to bust one of these out. Even the special edition Ghost that I paid a bunch of money on eBay for is still sitting in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I need to start putting these together.
I know. I kind of said the same. I'd mentioned to you we got a new shelf for the game room, so we're displaying the Destiny stuff differently.
Yeah, I kind of don't have anywhere to put them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, there's like 4 or 5, and some are decent sized Mega Block sets that we haven't put together. My kiddo and I, we've gotten out the figures because he loves to look at those and play with them. But, we got pretty much all of those on the shelf. We just haven't put together like Atheon and so.
The other day it was funny. We were sitting at dinner. And you know, kids, they just ask you just off the wall stuff sometimes. And he was just like, Dad, why do you like Destiny? And I was like, first of all, son, that's a loaded question. Second of all, how do I tell you, a 4-year-old, why I do this? And so I just made it really simple. I was like, because it's a fun game and it's a fun game to play with friends. And he was like, okay.
And there's loot.
Yeah, I didn't even go that far because he doesn't even know what that means. But
he does though. He's got
he's playing Super Mario Odyssey a lot, and his favorite thing is to unlock all the different hats and costumes for Mario.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the previous conversation we had about the actual tangible mystery loot boxes for all the different franchises of toys these days.
Oh gosh, don't get me started. That stuff drives me crazy.
Cars,
man.
Transformers.
Well, it's like the little pod things. They're not quite eggs, right?
Right.
But you buy them, and they're like $4 or $3 for a little piece of plastic, like not even a real toy. It's like a cheap figure most of the time, or like a squishy thing.
Mm-hmm.
God, those people have to be making hand over fist on that crap.
Now, I will say that Cars ones are pretty legit. They're like little mini die-cast Cars ones. And we, the other day, our son was really wanting Jackson Storm. He didn't have the mini Jackson Storm, and we actually, like, no joke, pulled the ultimate parents and like did a little testing of the mystery bags to try it, because his spoiler is different than every other car that you can get in the little mystery bags, and we're like, we checked like 5 of them, the spoiler, you know, like through the
like on
packaging. And we're like checking it through the packaging, and we're like, I think this one is Jackson Storm. Let's get this one.
Nice.
Totally
Smart.
broke the system.
Nice.
And it was too. We definitely beat
the system.
We did. Anyways, being a parent, being a dad.
Yeah, well, now he's really into Mario just overall. Like, he has like 4 Mario shirts.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that on last week's episode.
Yeah.
About playing the different Marios.
And they
stuff.
have... We had looked, like, we were at Walmart, and I went and just kind of browsed the game aisle to see if they had any like cool little Mario stuff. They have some stuff for the games and the systems, but so then we're in checkout, and they had down on the right side of the aisle where they keep all the junk, they had this little box, and it had tiny little Mario figures, and he like flipped out, and we bought one of them. I was like, next time we come, we'll see if they have another. We'll try to find you a Mario. He's like totally into it, man. He wants a Mario birthday party. Like,
oh, nice. Everything. Very cool.
He wants to be Mario and Luigi for Halloween. I'm like, dude, I'll do it with you. Whatever you want.
Yeah, that's always a great one. Have him be Mario and you be Luigi.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Totally off topic, but while I had my character preview screen up, it made me think about it. I got the Undeterred Sparrow from Crimson Days, which is one of the exotics. And,
oh yeah, I got one. I got that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking sparrow, and it has these little rose petal effect on it. But I didn't realize until I was doing a strike the other night, and I was doing the DLC one where you ride your sparrow, and so I finally busted it out to drive it, and it has a cool heart contrail to it.
Oh, really?
So there's like a contrail of hearts behind you. It's so awesome.
I didn't
even know.
It's my only exotic sparrow. I actually was hoping to get that drop. I played like 5 matches, and I got it. So
nice.
Because I thought you got it after you just played a couple, but it was something else you got. That was actually, I think the sparrow was a random drop just for playing the Crucible.
And I need to try this other one, the Undefeated, that's very similar to it, and see if it has the same effect. But I liked that little surprise that I
it's cool.
Kind of just jumped in. I was like, wait, what's happening?
Very cool.
It was cool though. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, that, my reset was just kind of a jumble of a little bit of stuff here and there, and
it's great to be a gamer right now, man.
For sure, man. And yeah, then my buddy Darth was texting me today, and we're just talking about some games coming up. I was like, oh man, we're getting into the spring. Like, a bunch of new stuff is going to start coming out, you know? Like, we're excited about, did you see that game A Way Out?
No.
It's a 2-person co-op only game. And it's like you and a guy escaping from prison. Go check it out. They revealed it at E3. It looks really cool.
I'm kind of behind on my new releases. I
played really close attention to E3 this year, more so than previous years, and there was a lot of cool stuff. And then there's another game that's getting released early access called Deep Rock Galactic, and you're like dwarves going to planets and mining. Did you see that?
I haven't seen the actual gameplay, but I've seen it pop up
like
on
the trailer
feeds.
Or anything. Yeah. It looks interesting. It looks fun. You're like underground and you mine stuff, and then there's also like critters, alien critters that you fight, and it's like full co-op. I think like up to 4-person. Looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna check it out.
Very cool. Keep us posted.
I will.
I hope,
yeah.
Listeners, thank you for letting us go off on a random tangent of many things here.
They never complain, so we're just going to assume that it's okay for now.
Keep doing the thing we always do. It seems as though you're still listening.
Yes, talking about whatever nonsense is going on. But yeah, so that was our reset, man. Let's do some discourse. We got a couple this week.
Yeah. Excellent.
First off, we've got a speak pipe from Joe Coco. And he did a great job because he messaged me and he was like, so I didn't realize the speak pipe was 90 seconds and mine's a little bit longer. What should I do? I was like, see if you can get it down to 90 seconds. And he did. So good job. So let's take a listen.
Oh, good day, eh? How's it going, eh? I'd wish you a warm welcome from Canada, but not like we have any of those, eh? -10 degrees Celsius, 30 centimeters of snow. Only thing keeping my igloo warm is Destiny chugging along on my less than stellar PC. But anyway, I just want to talk about a feature that I'm a bit heartbroken is missing from Destiny, but for that I'm going to switch to an American accent so everyone can understand me. Anyway, I'm going to try and keep this up. I'm really missing Rumble. I really don't understand why it didn't ship in the game. It's where all the solo queuers went, and it would probably solve a heck of a lot of issues with how people feel about Crucible at the moment, because everyone just feels like they're getting wiped out by every 4-stack, and I can understand that. Like, sure, when you hop on a team, you just absolutely dominate, but is that really a genuine experience if all you're doing is trouncing people who aren't communicating? You just have a basic advantage over everyone else. And I love Destiny too, like way more than probably most people who have jumped ship do. But I just don't understand how the game couldn't ship without Rumble. It's such a staple in shooters and stuff. But anyway, that's as much as I'm going to say. I love the show, long-time listener. And you guys just keep on doing what you do. You guys are awesome, eh?
All right, Joe Coco. Thank you so much for the speak pipe. I gotta say,
it's the most Canadian speak pipe we've ever gotten.
Very much so, and we've got many Canadians in the Dirt fam. I went to listen to it, and of course we've talked about this, but I don't guess they're gonna update it on iTunes on Apple devices because I can no longer play the speak pipes on my iPhone. But I pulled it up on the old computer, and I gotta say I was entertained with your speak pipe. It's a good one. Anyways, yes, Rumble.
Great news for you. It'll be here in a month. I think
closer than you think.
I'm really interested to see how Rumble plays in this sandbox.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Of course, some changes are gonna come with it. It would be interesting to see it like right now if we got it today in this patch as you're listening.
Yeah.
But when we get it, it'll be with the sandbox changes.
The Go Fast.
Yes.
The Go Fast update at the same time.
But I do love Rumble. It's at this point, it sounds like a broken record, but so many people in the community have said, why did certain things go away? Obviously, they made that decision for a reason, but I did as well. I would just jump on, especially with the solo play that I'm doing right now. I've always been a big time Crucible guy, and I would just throw on Rumble. I'd put different weapons on and just see what I could do, and I really can't wait to do that again.
No, I'm excited. Rumble is not a mode that I spent a lot of time playing early in playing Destiny, but when I got more confident, I would have a ton of fun in Rumble.
Yeah, yeah. I've never been like big, especially in Call of Duty, like on free-for-all modes. But I didn't play it much early on in Destiny either. And then when it started to click and I started to get used to the Crucible and started to get a little more confident, like you said, those moments in Rumble when you take out a Guardian and before you even actually take that Guardian out, you're already thinking about your next move, looking at the radar, know exactly where the next one's at, the next target. And it feels great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait. I agree.
But yeah, Joe Coco, we're totally with you. I think adding Rumble can definitely add a lot more experiences to broaden the Crucible and give people ways to enjoy it and see how the game plays, outside of 4v4 for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And thanks for your patronage. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
For so long.
Thanks for the kind words. Very much.
Appreciate it. Have a cup at Tim's for us. Next up, we got an email. I'll read this one from Justin titled Destiny Expanded Universe. Intrigued already. He says, in the recent episode with Mega Magwitch, you guys briefly discussed Bungie having an opening in their narrative department. Given Halo's fairly large expanded universe, book library, as well as comics, do you think that there's a potential for Bungie to possibly put deeper narrative focus on the Destiny franchise in novel/comic form? I personally enjoyed the world building / Souls-like cryptic storytelling from D1 much more than the focused but contrived narrative we got out of D2. And I think the series would benefit greatly from a novel series the same way Halo used them to fill some of those gaps. P.S. Tinfoil hat on, but do you think they won't do this because then they'll have to admit grunts from Halo and the Cabal are directly related? Thinking emoji.
Same family tree.
That's funny, man. Yeah, so this is something that you and I have talked about many times.
Forever.
Yeah,
Yes.
that we would really enjoy so much to see anything in book form, especially, but even in comic form, which, we're starting to get. I would love to see, like you're describing, some comics or novels that were had a lot more depth, fleshed out parts of the universe that we haven't seen before. Yeah, and he's
so many stories to tell.
Yeah, and he's talking about how there is this big opening for a narrative director, I think it was, and if they were going to do stuff like that, I imagine they do have to have somebody at Bungie that kind of is in charge of all the narratives being told. Somebody's got to oversee all the stories and making sure that they work together and what the future stories are going to be and where that goes and what's been said in the past. And, it's a big job when you have a universe that grows and grows and then has all the grimoire and just all the things that gets expanded on over time. I think even like a big game universe like Mass Effect had novels that were really great. And the thing is it doesn't cost a lot for these publishers or companies to get a novel published.
This little side project going on out here on the side, create depth.
And it's not like they don't have somebody to write them. The guy that did the King's Fall lore and did the Leviathan lore stuff is a great writer, and I'm sure would jump at the chance to write a Destiny novel. So
yeah,
I think that there's potential.
I think they're testing the waters with the webcomic. I think
absolutely, yeah.
We'll see more.
I think this, that's kind of Bungie's MO. Like they put out stuff to test the waters, with new things. We've seen that with merchandise. We've seen that with Eververse. We've seen that with features. So I think if the comic's well received or, at least get some traction, like we could see more stuff like that. I certainly hope so.
Yep. I am on board.
If anybody at Bungie is listening, we really, really would like that.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people would too.
Any way to consume all of the Destiny stories that can be told.
For sure. All right.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, thanks, Justin, for that email. That's our Dirt Fam Discourse. If you have something you'd like to offer, maybe it's a question, a reply to something we've talked about, or if you would like to highlight something positive that's going on in our community, please send us a SpeakPipe or an email, speakpipe.com/destinyreset or destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll hear from you on the show.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Do we have any patron shout-outs this week, man?
You know what? I think we do. Let me just take a look here. Why don't you tell them about Patreon?
While you double check, if you don't know what a patron is, you can go to patreon.com/destinyreset, which is where we have a listing for our Patreon. And for as little as $1 a month, you can help support the production budget of our show. We have lots of patrons. We're very thankful for them. If you are a patron or have been a patron in the past, we thank you so much for your patronage. And we always appreciate anything you can offer. Patrons also get a couple rewards. You get a shout out on the podcast. Do we have anything, Aaron Knight, shout out?
We actually, there's a reason we didn't add any to the notes. We added them to the website this week, but you guys gave them a shout out last week. So no new patrons this week.
Very good. But go check yourself out on the website. That's another benefit you get right on our page, on our front page. And then you also get an invitation to a Discord channel just for our patrons and supporters, where you get to talk to us, totally ask us anything that you want, or give feedback
Anytime.
on the show, or
Tag
make
us.
requests, all that fun stuff. So patreon.com/Destiny Reset. Also, if you're not into the whole monthly patronage thing, if you just want to throw us a cup of coffee or what have you, you can do so through PayPal. We've got a PayPal button on our website. And we regularly get folks here and there that like to do that. We very much appreciate their support as well.
Yes, we do. Guys, we thank you so much just for listening, and the patrons, definitely, very much so. We appreciate all you guys.
All right, man. Well, this was a short show, but still fun.
I know it was.
Kind
I
of
feel
an
like
anomaly.
we went off on a tangent for a while.
Did we
there,
miss
but
something?
We're still just
that we're
breaking an
supposed to
hour.
talk about?
There was plenty to talk about in news, but we went through it apparently.
Yep.
So, it's
Quiet
all
week,
good.
but next week we'll have a lot to talk about with the updates and
Patch
our
notes, and our
first hands on
experiences.
to some of the new stuff that we're getting. So exciting times. If you're still out there listening and playing Destiny, we're still here for you. Got your back.
We're here, guys.
Where can people find you, Aaron Knight?
You can find me on Twitter at the Arrow Knight, and on Twitch and YouTube it's Arrow Knight. What about you, man?
Awesome. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Twitch. And finally, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. Give us a follow, especially if you're interested in winning a blue headphone or mic setup in the near future. We're going to be doing some giveaways. Also on the web at www.destinyresetpodcast.com. Can't get any more straightforward for that. Go there for all things DRP, including links to everything we've talked about on the show here. Thank you for your iTunes reviews.
Spencer Gavin.
Spencer Gavin.
Thanks so much. That's a pretty sharp name.
That's a strong name.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
like
for your iTunes review. If you're on iTunes listening, then please leave us a review. Those reviews help us get seen and heard by more listeners when they search for Destiny or Destiny podcasts in the iTunes store. So we appreciate all 150 plus of you that have taken the time to do that.
Very much.
Big time thankful for that. And yeah, that's it, man.
I'm guessing you're playing Fortnite on Xbox.
Yes, that is.
It is a free
that
game.
Yes,
You could download it on PlayStation, or I could download it on Xbox.
I totally could either way, no matter.
We could try to play it. Remember, we were going to meet in the middle on PC, but now we're both maining console on Destiny, so we have to find other ways.
I'll just install it on everything, and whenever you're on, just hit me up.
That sounds good. I already have it on PC, so let me install it on my
go.
Xbox.
There we go.
There's no excuse for us not to play Fortnite together.
Absolutely.
But anyways, I can't wait to dive in to the update this week.
So exciting.
All right, dude. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.